Hello, everybody. How we all doing? Welcome to the Red Devils Experience. Manchester United tied the match 3-3, advanced on penalties into the FA Cup final, but we have a much bigger issue to discuss, and that is I have had enough. Erik Ten Hag must go. From what I've seen today, it's completely over. It is completely over. I cannot continue to back this. There is no defending this. Everything that we've seen today has summed up everything that we've seen in the season, and today was the final straw for me. The decisions that this guy made, I've been backing this guy. I've been trying to give him benefits of the doubt, and I just can no longer do it. I just something during that match, just I can't do it anymore. I don't know what we watched. I mean, I know what we watched. We watched the full capitulation from our team. I feel absolutely embarrassed. I feel absolutely let down. I am ashamed by this group of players and what this club is right now. And I cannot believe that we are actually at this point. I cannot believe that we have reached this point, but he has to go. He has to go. There is no defending what we seen today. There is absolutely no defending. And I just want to say right off the bat immediately, the substitution of Alejandro Garnacho, the taking off of Kobe Mainu to put on, and it's not even putting on Anthony, but the fact that you are going to take off Alejandro Garnacho to leave a Marcus Rashford that hasn't been playing for you, that hasn't been playing for the club, that hasn't been playing for the fans this entire season, that doesn't give a crap, that doesn't run on the pitch, he doesn't do anything, he doesn't look for his teammates, and to pull Alejandro Garnacho off, to leave on Marcus Rashford is an absolute disgrace. And everybody has seen Garnacho's face when he seen his number was up on the board. And I know that's how every single person has in this fan base feels. Exactly, his facial expression was every single United fan around the world, because it is a fucking disgrace that this guy can take off that kid. And not for nothing, Amad Diallo came on and did more than Marcus Rashford. And I said this last time, and it's true because I'm going to say it again. He did more than Marcus Rashford did in 90 times 5, times 10, times fucking 20. In 15 minutes, this kid has done more. Why Erik Ten Hag refuses to drop Marcus Rashford, he won't sub him, is beyond me. His decisions, his stubbornness is the reason why he will lose his job, and the reason why we are performing poorly and poor results. There's other factors 100%, but this guy is not learning. This guy is not changing his ways, and he is going to go down with the ship. He is going to go down with the ship. There is no defending this. There was previous managers that were here. They made similar decisions to Erik Ten Hag. They went down with the ship. When people didn't want to drop Harry Maguire, when Harry Maguire was absolutely awful and he continued to play week in and week out, they continued to play him. It continued to lead to poor results, and they ended up losing their job. And Erik Ten Hag is doing the same with Marcus Rashford, and it is an absolute disgrace. I cannot wrap my head around why he refuses to. It's not even that he won't even drop him. He won't even sub him off. And I'm sorry, I'm going to call this out, and I don't care. I don't even think he was injured. I don't even think Rashford was injured. I think he didn't want to play anymore. That's what he looked like on the pitch. He didn't want to fucking play anymore. He pulled up with an injury, and he got subbed off of the field. He wanted nothing to do with that game after the fucking capitulation. And by the way, I don't want to hear people coming with the excuse of Garnacho needs a rest and Maino needs a rest. That's bullshit. Marcus Rashford has played every game of every minute. Does he not need a fucking rest? There's two kids that are younger than a bunch of the players on the pitch, and yet we're resting the kids that are young, that are supposed to be running, that are supposed to be fresher, that are supposed to be full of energy. I'm not having that. That's bullshit. Bruno Fernandes has played every single fucking minute, and I understand we're short on options where Bruno Fernandes is, so I can let it slide a little bit because Mount is injured and there's nobody really to put in Bruno's spot, right? But there are players that are playing every single minute of every single game, and they don't need a rest. But our two best young players, they need to come off to be rested. For what? Because as soon as Garnacho came off and Mano came off, we capitulated. We lost that game. So what does that tell you? Number one, they are more important than all the other players on the pitch. They provide more on the pitch than the players that are being left to play 90 minutes. They're giving more, and they have done more this season than any of those players on the pitch. Alejandro Garnacho and Kobe Mainoo have carried this team on their back. Bruno has done better in the past couple games getting on the score sheet. His play in the game is still not what we want it to be. And that is another major problem. But I believe some of the things we're seeing from Bruno is because we don't, that midfield is imbalanced. We never replaced Fred. I had this conversation with somebody yesterday on X. We never replaced Fred. Fred was the engine of that midfield last season. He was pivotal in the match where we beat Manchester City 2-0 at home. We never replaced that. We don't have somebody that can take care of the ball. It looks like Bruno is being forced to slow the game down, to control the tempo, and that's not his style. It doesn't fit him, which is causing, who knows, all types of problems. But, I mean, it was an absolute disgrace, decision-wise, and he has to go. He has to go. I mean, the fact that Diallo couldn't get in until Rashford decided that he wanted to be injured, right, is also a disgrace. Diallo put you where you were. You refused to put in Diallo. You refused to give him minutes. He saved you. He saved you in that match, right? In a match that we would have probably lost if we went to penalties. And yet you don't want to give the kid any minutes. Those kids that came in, they might not be ready, but they're giving you more than the players that are experienced. Because the experienced players are not giving us their best. And it is a fucking disgrace. And it is time to go. Listen, standards of this club, it's been eroded for a long time. It's gone down. But if we're holding standards to standards, Louis van Gaal finished 5th and won an FA Cup. There is no reason why we are going to finish 9th and win an FA Cup. And I don't even think we're going to win the FA Cup, to be honest, because how you can say we're going to win the FA Cup playing like we just did, and we have to go play Manchester City, the team that keeps dominating this fucking league every season, and is far better off than we are. How you can think that we are going to win that match, I do not know, because I do not see it. These players do not show it. They do not have character. And by the way, while I'm saying Erik Ten Hag must go, these players 100% must go. It's not just Erik Ten Hag, but Erik Ten Hag cannot continue here. There's no saving this. It's come to its final heat. I don't know what I'm seeing anymore. The team is completely just discombobulated from the players on the pitch. They don't know what they're doing. The instructions, what he's thinking, his decisions aren't good either. And it's just a mess. And there's no turning this around. There's no turning this around. We've hit the fucking line, and he cannot turn this around. I'd still, even if he manages to somehow win the final against City, I think a lot of people might change their perception, but I still don't think that there's any reason to show that he can fix this going into next season. I think we've hit the pinnacle where we need Listen, if we got a new CEO, a new technical director, a director of football, new owners, rip it up. Rip it up and start over, because this cannot continue the way it is going. It just cannot. It cannot. And this is coming from somebody that I have been defending Erik Ten Hag all fucking season long. All season long, because I thought a lot of the things that he was getting criticized was very unfair, and I will defend somebody when I think it is unfair treatment. But you cannot continue, and you cannot defend what we seen today. What did we see today? I saw a manager making poor fucking choices, keeping players on the pitch that don't want to play for this club, that are not giving the effort, and I seen a capitulation against a fucking championship team, and they made us look like we were the championship team. That's how we looked, like we were the championship team. I am embarrassed that we were up 3-0 and we threw it away to tie a fucking game, to go to penalties. And by the way, I feel more heartbroken for Coventry than I am happy that we won on penalties, because Coventry showed fight, they showed character, they showed determination. And you know what it was? They got unlucky. We were lucky Wan-Bissaka's toenail happened to not be as long as maybe it could have been, and they didn't, because they scored the goal. That was the winning goal. We gave up on the pitch. We lost it on the pitch. We stayed alive by a toenail. We didn't deserve to win this match. And Ray Muscat says Ten Hag must go if he can't bench Rashford. And I mean, yeah, and this was something I was saying. I don't understand where it's gone wrong. I don't understand where it's gone wrong. Last season, when Erik Ten Hag came in, he put his foot down. He made it clear, if you don't play, if you don't perform, if you don't do your duties, right? If you don't do your duties, you don't play. And where has that gone? Because Rashford hasn't been doing anything. Rashford hasn't been doing anything. We got another chat. Lionheart says, Ten Hag must go, ? Christ on a bike, mate. Maguire didn't train all bloody week. 3 more injuries, 0 center-backs for training. How the fuck does he do defensive tactics? Ten Hag must go? Fuck that. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion. Listen, he must go for certain reasons, that he is continuing to play players that are not playing, in my opinion. And I understand where you're coming from, because those were all my talking points that I was saying defending him for the past few weeks. I understand that. I understand where you're coming from. But at the same time, after what I seen today, I don't know how to explain it to you. It is the feeling that I got in the mid-match. I couldn't even enjoy that we were winning 3-0. I was not happy with the fact he pulled off Garnacho. I was not happy with the fact that he refuses to play Diallo, while I'm watching Marcus Rashford walk around the pitch and do nothing. And this isn't the first match he's done it. This isn't the second match he's done it. This isn't the third match he's done it. He's been doing it all season. His decisions are not helping his cause to be backed. They are not. They are not. And his decisions are poor, and the results are poor. And I just have come to the conclusion that there is no saving this, because I cannot defend what I seen today. I cannot defend what I seen today. I know that there are a crazy amount of injuries. I get that. I get that. How long did Alex get before he got a trophy? He was facing the sack, and he did get saved. Now listen, I'm not in charge. Maybe Ineos keep him. Maybe they keep him. But for me, I just don't see how he turns this around. I don't see it. I don't even think we're going to win the final. I hope we win the final. I really do. That would be fucking great. And I wanted Ten Hag to succeed. I backed him every single day up until now. But I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. After what I seen today, I just cannot. It is not in me. It would be fake of me to sit here and pretend like I don't want him gone, because I think we've reached the end. I think we've reached the end. If we're doing this against Coventry in an FA Cup semi-final, we're blowing a 3-0 lead. We blew that lead. Let me put it this way: we blew that lead because of the the decisions he made to pull off. Listen, you could say bollocks, whatever. It's my opinion, your opinion. You're entitled to yours, I'm entitled to mine. But what I'm telling you is the decisions he made led to the capitulation today. The pulling off of Kobe Mainoo and the subbing of Anthony while leaving Marcus Rashford on there. As soon as Garnacho and Mainoo came off, we went absolutely downhill. He put on a finished Eriksen. Christian Eriksen is finished. Finished. And if Marcus Rashford cannot perform against a championship side, he cannot be at this club. He needs to be sold. So, the only way I see going forward, if they do keep Ten Hag, they got to get rid of these players. That's the only chance Ten Hag has. Because if they don't get rid of these players, and he's stuck with them again, and we bring in a couple players, and maybe we, replace 2 or 3, there's no improvement next season. He will be gone next season. He will be gone. So, it's just how I'm feeling right now. Mainoo was leggy. Yeah, Mainoo was leggy. I don't know. I thought Mainoo was all right. Mainoo is a kid. He's supposed to have fresher legs. Marcus Rashford is playing every single minute of every single game. Is he not leggy? His performances are awful. Is he not mentally drained? Is he not physically drained? Rashford was the only one who was making runs. Nah, I'm not having that. Marcus Rashford was walking, bruv. He was walking. And he doesn't do anything with the ball. He doesn't do anything with the ball. Maybe in the beginning he was making runs. I'll give you that. In the beginning of the game. But towards the end of the game, especially the second half, he wasn't doing anything. He didn't even want to take the ball to the byline anymore. He would get the ball and just pass it backwards. He was finished. And I haven't seen Rashford do anything for matches now. For matches. I don't know what warrants him to get a start. I honestly don't. I don't. What is he doing on the pitch? What has he contributed to our team that warrants him to start and to play 90 minutes every match? Because in my opinion, Alejandro Garnacho, he was getting, running, and making spaces. Okay, so Garnacho doesn't get, run, and make spaces. Anthony doesn't do that. Diallo doesn't do that. Because Diallo did more than Rashford, and Diallo was on for 15 minutes, and he did more than Rashford did in the whole 90 minutes. So, listen, we've been making excuses for these guys and this team and this manager all season. And we tried to give him benefits of doubts, but I cannot continue to back what I'm seeing. I'm trying to calm down from the match because I'm very pissed off by just the fact of that. How can you be up 3-0 and you capitulated like that again? I want Erik Ten Hag to succeed. I hope I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong in saying that he should be sacked. Whatever. I don't know where to go from here. It's just how I feel, and I'm here to express it. And Lionhearts, I appreciate you putting out your opinion in the chat. You're totally 100% allowed. I love Garnacho, don't get me wrong. No, listen. This is what it's for. We're supposed to have a discussion. I appreciate you putting your opinions out there, and I don't have to agree with it. You don't have to agree with mine, but that's what this is all about, right? We're supposed to have a discussion. And so I appreciate you putting them in there. And I get what you're saying. And you said, but I agree this time he had to come off. All right, well, fair enough. The way I see it, I don't know. I still feel like it led to us losing the match. Not losing, but it led to us losing the lead, blowing the lead that we had. It was just the difference in, I don't know what it was. It was like the energy was sucked out of the team. As soon as Garnacho and Mainoo came off, it was like we just became flat. We became flat, and I don't know. I'm tired of. I'm sorry. I'm tired. Listen, I'm gonna say something to you. I love Marcus Rashford. I love him. The guy. When Van Gaal was here and he came through, he was the first person I bought the kit, because when I seen him, I loved that kid. I loved him. He was the only bright spark in that season. I hated that season. I was so depressed watching it, and he was the only bright spark of that. And I've been supporting him. But I cannot continue to support somebody when I don't see what I want from a United player. I don't see the effort. I don't see him giving it. He's not giving 100%. He doesn't seem 100% committed. He doesn't seem interested. I don't know what's wrong with him. It has been like this all season. In the beginning, I thought it was something with Rashford, with Sancho. I'm sorry, but Sancho's been gone. He should have been able to get over that. He should get his head focused, and he hasn't. And you guys are saying, Sanny is saying Rashford is the only player from Manchester United, or what? Please tell Erik Ten Hag to go with Rashford. And Lionhearts said, but look at what Ten Hag has at the moment to work with. No, listen, I understand that. I understand that he is down on resources and availability of players, and I understand what that's led to this season. And also we need answers to that. I'm gonna be honest. We need answers to what is actually going on and how we have accumulated to 60 injuries / illnesses this season. Because the media, they want to write and say it's all Ten Hag. It's Ten Hag. Ten Hag's training them too hard. I can't even believe that they are saying that they're training them too hard. How can you be training them too hard? We are crap. We are awful. And we're training the players too hard. Some of the players don't run on the pitch. Sancho is an amazing player, just not good enough for the Prem. I kind of agree with that. He seems to do well in Germany. He did well in Germany when he was over there in the beginning. Also, maybe, you know what? Maybe he just doesn't fit Manchester United. That's also a thing too. Sometimes you're just not fit for the team. I think the buying of Sancho was kind of a mistake. And that's been the bad recruitment that we have done over the years. It's more of just like sign this player, sign that player. It's not really put a team together. Do they go together? Do their abilities complement each other? It's more of just like, oh, he's a good player, sign him, stick him somewhere in the team. I think it's a little bit of that, but also I don't know if Sancho has the head for that. But we were talking about the match. I don't want to go too much on Jadon Sancho because he's on loan. Ray has said, Ten Hag must go. Make this wrong sub. How you take off Garnacho. How you justifying Rashford play for 90 minutes. And that's kind of what I was touching on. I mean, I don't see how Garnacho and Maino can be absolutely knackered and tired, but Marcus Rashford is not tired. I think even Bruno Fernandes is tired. Like, he runs on the pitch and he gives you 100%, but Bruno plays every single match and every single minute, and I think Bruno is mentally exhausted. So, and Alien Tenno has said, hey, Red Devil and chat, the game was a disgrace to Man United. A 71-year-old Sir Jim ran a marathon in 4 hours, and we get this crap. Thank you for writing that in the chat. And there is some truth to that, but I actually tweeted as a joke and said Sir Jim Ratcliffe is going to run a marathon and run more than the Manchester United players have ran all season. It was a bit of banter, but you could definitely say it's some truth to certain players that go on our pitch. I mean, I think even Scott McTominay, right? I think even Scott McTominay wasn't 100% fit, but Scott McTominay got to stay on the pitch, and Mainu got subbed out because Mainu was tired, but then Scott got injured at the end, and he had to get taken off. So I don't know. This is what I'm saying about Erik Ten Hag. The decisions he's making are very puzzling, and we are not getting answers because Erik Ten Hag does not give you answers in the media. He never does. He gives you the PR response, and I don't go down the route of calling him a liar because many people call him a liar, right? And I think it's very. I think it's just not genuine. I understand why he says things that he does in the media. I've always come with the understanding as soon as he came to this club, even when he was Ajax, he does not like the media. He does not like speaking to the media. If he was able to, I'm sure he would skip all of the conferences and questions and whatnot. He does not like it, so he just gives the PR response. He just gives the media something. I don't think we get the actual truth, and that's why people call him a liar. But I don't think he's like going out of his way to let me lie to the fans. He's more of just like, I don't want to give the media anything to really talk about. Here's an answer. Go write it in your paper or whatever, and get away from me, right? An alien is saying he is a season ticket holder, Red. Well, we appreciate you being here. And I'm tired of this garbage. The summer is going to be huge. And for me, Rashford needs to be the first to be sold. Well, there are many people that hold the same opinion as you. And, yeah, I, I, listen, it's hard for me to say this because, like I mentioned earlier, Marcus Rashford was one of my favorite players for a while because, especially in the Van Gaal season, because he was the only thing that was there, and he gave me something to look forward to watching in that season. And I've backed him and I've supported him throughout all those seasons. But it is a real problem that you can have a Marcus Rashford like we had last season who performed so very well and looked turned on, looked happy to be there and was on top of the world, and then comes into this season and looks like the complete opposite of what he was last season. And he's done this one or two other times, and that is concerning for me. And the route he is going down right now, I there's nothing for me to back of him. He has not shown me anything this season that I can get behind and say, no, he's going to turn it around. He can turn this around. I don't see it on the pitch from him. I don't see the effort. I just don't see it. Sani is saying every game crying because of long coaching and long sub. Please, Erik Ten Hag, resign yourself because I have kids. Don't make me sick. Well, thank you for that, Sadie. Listen, we don't know what's gonna happen necessarily, right? We don't. I just want to say thank you everybody that's getting involved in the chat. We appreciate all your opinions. If you could take 2 seconds and smash the like button for me, because it greatly helps us out, and we greatly appreciate it. I would love that. Lionhearts is saying 2 seasons ago he needs to be sold. Last season, ooh, what an amazing player. Now he needs to be sold again. Bipolar much. I mean, I get that point, but it also goes on the point of how can 2 seasons ago he needs to be sold because he wasn't performing well. Last season, everybody's saying an amazing player because he was literally, I think that was probably his best season he ever had at the club. And now people are saying he needs to be sold again because he's having an absolutely awful season. So yeah, okay, like I get it, it's up and down, but also his performances go hand in hand with the bipolar of the opinion of selling, not selling, amazing player, not amazing player. You understand? Like if there was some consistency in there, obviously there's always going to be haters and they're just going to be like, I don't care if he does good or if he does bad, get him the hell out, right? But that's really going with his performances of the season and what people are seeing on the pitch, his attitude, his body language, his what is he providing for the team, all of that. People are willing to back people when even if they're not great, if you're showing something, some fight, something like people will back you. They will stay by your side because they see you giving an effort. It's just not working out for you. But I think we reached a point where like the people are not seeing that. The majority of people are not seeing that from him, and that's why they're turning on him. And he can say whatever he wants. I know he's made statements, but the statement we want is the statement on the pitch. That's what we want. Alien said only thing Rashford is good at is taking his wage pay. Ray said we winning 3-0, Rashford playing like shit, and you don't put in Ahmad, the kid, he put us in this game. Ray is saying, Rashford's not playing great, and Ahmad can't get any minutes, and Ahmad had a big deal to get into the semifinal. He put us there. He scored the winning goal. Lionhearts, I get by you, Alien, but come on. Sani, if I was a witchcraft out of witching. Ray saying Rashford has been shit all season. And chat, Alien is asking the chat, would you keep Rashford or cash in while he still has value? It's a good question. Listen, I think it's hard for me because Lionhearts is saying he is the shit. Right. That's what I was saying. I don't think you guys are saying the same thing. Lionhearts, I don't think you guys are saying the same thing. But I don't know. Maybe let's talk about Alien cuz I like that question. Would you keep Rashford or cash in while he still has value? I don't think Marcus Rashford's necessarily losing value, right? A time to cash in would have been off of last season cuz he had his best season. His value is probably a little bit lower, even though he did sign a new contract. But he hasn't been great this season. And again, it's literally not easy for me because I don't hate Marcus Rashford. I want Marcus Rashford to be the greatest player, but it's hard for me to back something when I'm just not seeing it from him on the pitch. There's times where I've seen Rashford fight for this club and for this badge like no other, and I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence of it. I think if it was a really good offer, I wouldn't be totally against the club getting rid of him. Um, yeah, I think Rashford's been here for a while. I understand, youth system player, Manch born and bred, and I get that's all important. But sometimes, like I've said previously, sometimes when things are up, you just need to move on. Sometimes things come to an end. Nothing lasts forever. When you force to try and stay somewhere that you should maybe be moving on from, it becomes toxic, and it's not good for you, and it's not good for the other party involved. It's almost like a relationship, to be honest. I mean, if you're in a relationship with somebody and you know that it's not what it once was, and you're not feeling the same about it, but you don't want to make that change because it's more comfortable to just stay where you are. That usually turns kind of toxic because you don't feel the same way about the person, and it just erodes the relationship, and it's more of like they should move on. They should both move on. Um, so that's kind of where I sit. What's the chat saying? Ray saying Man United playing with 10 men all season because Rashford is in the team. Lionhearts is laughing, taking it lightly. We like to see that. Alien saying the amount of times this season I've seen Rashford out dribble himself is amazing. Seriously, if the PSG mugs offer 80 million, take it. I mean, listen, 80 million for Marcus Rashford is good money. It's also pure profit for FFP, right? So, yeah, I mean, listen, if we're going to do a full rebuild, we're gonna rip it apart, we're gonna go down that direction. You take the 80 million, and you reinvest it wisely, and you build going forward. We have a couple young players, Rasmus Højlund, Garnacho, Menu, Diallo, Kumbala's in and around there. You know, you could start with a nice core of young players, and maybe buy some players ready to take the next step with that money. Sandy is saying same team beating 5 times like Man City. Erik Ten Hag isn't hardworking or not, so final is going to Man City. Lionhearts says the problem is Hoyland is not center forward. We need right now. He needs someone who can learn. He can learn from the boy is only 20. If there's a proper center forward up front, the wingers can do their jobs properly. And I get what you. I agree with most of that. The only thing is that I'm going to say is our wingers are not real wingers. They are inside forwards, and they do not look for our striker. Um, they do not look for our striker. They do not look for Rasmus. And while I do agree that Rasmus is young and he does need to learn from somebody because he was never supposed to be the main guy. We were supposed to get two. He was supposed to be one, and we were supposed to have a more experienced player. That was the plan. And the plan did not go according to plan, and we are where we are now. 100%, he should be. Um, he needs another striker, and it does have to be somebody experienced, somebody that he can learn from. Because the kid being 20, being the main man for Manchester United in a team that plays like this, is very, very difficult and very, very hard. It is a big ask, and he is clearly struggling right now. He is struggling, but he is not getting opportunities. Our wingers are they are not traditional wingers. They are inside forwards. They get to the they try to cut in and shoot constantly. They're never looking for the man in the box too much. I think Garnacho did a little bit today, right? Garnacho did put in some crosses, but Rashford wasn't really looking for crosses for 85% of the game. He kept trying to dribble five, six, seven players. Anthony comes on. He does the same thing. He doesn't really look to cross the ball. He doesn't look to put the ball in the box. He cuts inside. He takes a shot. So it's a little bit of both lines. I'm with you on that part though. I do agree with basically what you said there. Ray's saying 20 mil, do it for me. He's talking about Rashford out, tell him to go in a bar. Don't come on. Go on. Like I get it. You went for a drink. He can spend the extra money we paid him in. Sani said, tell that idiot to pack his bags and leave. I'm getting sick of him. You kill me. And Lionheart saying, reading your Rashford comments, Ray, sounds like you already in the bar. You might add a drink or two, maybe. That's definitely a possibility. But listen, everybody's entitled to their opinion. This is what the community is all about. And again, I'm going to say, please smash the like button for us if you haven't. Subscribe, turn on notifications. We go live all the time. I'm really enjoying the chat. I'm enjoying all of your opinions and your comments. I appreciate you all being here. I appreciate you all taking the time to watch and put effort. And we're here talking about, at the end of the day, it's the club we love. It's the club we support. It's the club we spend our time taking to out of our days to watch, talk about, think about. So, that is, at the end of the day, that is the most important part, that we are here doing this. And at the end of the day, we all love Manchester United, and we all want what's best for Manchester United. We just have different opinions of how things should go. But that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything in terms of, like, there's no negative to that. That's what life is. It is different opinions, different thoughts, but we, at the end of the day, are all Manchester United fans, and we all love this club, and we just want what's best. You know, let's see. I had a couple things here that I wanted to discuss. We went on a tangent because I was having so much enjoyment talking to the chat, because the chat is chatting and putting opinions, and this is what we want, to build a community like this where everybody can have a say and everybody can feel welcomed, and you never get shut down for just having your opinion and putting it out there. We want things like that. I'm just gonna check X real quick for any news. Bruno Fernandez has said we'll never be successful if we win only the FA Cup. The standards of this club is much higher than what we have been doing. I agree, but at the same time, We need changes. And Erik Ten Hag has said this game is not an embarrassment. Please, Eric. Why do you say things like this? Why? Why do you say things like this? Why? Why? It is an embarrassment. That's how the fans feel. You're going against the fans. Don't do this. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying, guys. Chat. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about, chat. It's decisions that he's essentially going at the fans right now. Like, he's going against the opinion of the fans. There's no need to do this. You're already, like, under immense pressure and you're getting a lot of hate. And he comes out and makes the statement, this game is not an embarrassment. I don't see that word. It's a huge achievement. You cannot say things like that. I get you're trying to back the team. I understand you're trying to lift the team up. You're trying to be positive, but you cannot say things like that because it was 110% an embarrassment. It was an embarrassment. We were cruising 3-0 against a championship side, and not to take anything away from Coventry just because they are a championship side, but we are Manchester United at the end of the day. We are not supposed to be bottling a 3-0 lead in a semi-final in an FA Cup in a match that everybody is expecting for us to win, especially when we go up 3-0. Everybody's like the game is over. He went on to say we achieved 2 finals in 2 years, which okay. And then from all the setbacks we've had, even today, we had 3-3 and need consistency from the referee. Come on. Come on. Come on. Consistency. What does the referee have to do with us bottling the 3-0? And listen, I mentioned this before. I said this before. He never gives you the honest. This is why people call him a liar. But I understand what it is, so I don't call him a liar because I understand what he's doing. But still, he didn't need to say that part. He didn't need to say this game is not an embarrassment. Because it's just flying in the face of the fans. Sub to you, mate. Thank you, Michael. Zachariah, thank you for the sub. We appreciate you. I'm gonna read your stuff out. I went on a little bit of a rant here. So where were we? Ray said, I think he's saying it makes you drink. Did you watch the same game I did? So he's saying the performance was that bad it made him drink. Lionhearts is saying Anthony was a mistake. I'll give you that. Yeah, Anthony was a mistake. But at the same time, I kind of feel I always felt bad about this because it was like Anthony, we could have got him for like 45 million or something. And the club was just incompetent. And then they shit themselves and panicked because we lost. And then they went to go buy Anthony on literally like 2 days before the window closed. And Ajax are like, are you kidding me? We sold like half our team and now you want to come take like one more of our players and we don't have a replacement for him. Pay 85 million. And they paid it. And that's one of the things like, okay, Anthony might not have been the signing, yeah, and he might not have worked out, but it shouldn't have been such a huge like disaster of a signing because it should have just been like we spent 45 million, guy didn't work out, sell him for 20, 25, get him out, recoup basically half of the money, and move on. But they signed him for such an astronomical fee that he literally was never even worth in the first place, to the point that it was like this guy was always doomed to fail because if he didn't like score 15, 20 goals a season and have like 10 assists, he was never living up to the price tag anyway. But yeah, Anthony has not worked out. It has not worked out. It has definitely been a mistake. Michael sub to us. We already mentioned that, but thank you again. We appreciate you. Lionheart said, I believe United should give Ten Hag at least one more year. Now, Lion, I was saying this. I have, if you go through the channel and look at all the videos that I have been saying that, and maybe I calm down and change my mind a little bit, but I still feel like I don't see it. I think he's I think I think they are going to replace him. That's just what I feel like now. I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't be like, I wouldn't be a hater. Like if they kept him on and he stayed for one more year and he improved and did better and things got better, um I wouldn't be standing there chanting Ten Hag out, at all. I wanted this guy to succeed. I wanted him to do good. I just I've been waiting this whole second half of the season for something, and we're just not getting it, and I just don't see where it's gonna come from. Um, and I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. Like, part of me wants him to stay, clear the fucking players, right? Just get them out, clear mass exodus, a bunch of them, get new players in, and see what happens there. But at the same time, it's like I don't know. I don't know if I don't think he can turn this around. I don't. I don't think he can turn it around anymore. So, but listen, I get you, and if that's what they decide to do, I will still be there. I will still want Manchester United to win matches. Listen, whatever matches we have left, it's not like I don't want them to lose just so he gets sacked or whatever. I still want the team to win. I still want the players to perform well. But if they're not doing it, if they can't do it, then they have to go. It's just how it is for me. Um, Sani is saying Sani the Pre. I didn't want to pronounce it, the last part of the name, because I butchered it and I'm awful at that, so I'm sorry. But I'm just gonna call you Sani if that's okay. Man United praying like Luton team in Premier League. No, Man United is big team than Man City. Ray is saying I was Ten Hag in till he subbed today. He must go. Can't handle players that make 300K a week. Lion Hearts said the game was a total shit show. This is true, but we are in an FA Cup final. Yes, we will most probably lose, but back-to-back finals, kudos for that. Listen, he is 100%. That is something to hold on to. Yeah. I mean, if we're gonna put it in perspective and we're gonna be fair, because we try to be open and we try to look at all aspects of things here. Mikel Arteta, if you want to compare managers, has not been to a final. Yes, they challenged for the Premier League, but they haven't been to a final. And Erik Ten Hag has been to two. Now, well, he's been in FA Cup. He's been to two. He's been in more than two. We won the Carabao. So listen, he can get us there, but the problem is that I just don't know how we are going to. I don't. The problem is I don't see him making the changes of the personnel of players, and he's sticking with those players, and those players are not providing for us. So I don't see how he's going to get the turnaround that he needs. And I still question heavily some of the decisions that he's making. They are not, in my opinion, the correct decisions. And it's just hurting him. And this is what I was trying to say, like his stubbornness. Because I was fully aware before he actually signed for United, I was fully aware that this guy is very, very stubborn. I listened to a ton of Ajax fans, big Ajax fans, YouTubers of Ajax. I listened to them talk about Erik Ten Hag. They knew him very, very well. He was their manager for a few years, right? And they explained everything. They said he's very stubborn. He makes decisions that frustrates you. He takes a very long time to change things. They explain stuff with like Licha Martinez of how he brought him in, played him in the midfield, then just pulled Licha out, didn't play him for like a year and a half or something, like a season and a half, and then ended up throwing him in at center back at one time. And then he continued to start. Like, so they made very good examples of how this manager is stubborn. He sticks to what he believes in, but that's to a fault. He doesn't have that amount of time at Manchester United. He doesn't have that luxury. And while Ajax is Ajax, it is the Dutch league. It is not as many eyes. There's not as much pressure. Um, so I still feel like what he is currently doing is going to get him sacked. And that's why I'm so upset with him, because I want him to change it, because I think that will give him his best possible way of not getting sacked. But I think if he refuses to change it, we're going to keep getting the same results, and therefore he then must go. That's just where I'm at right now. Chat is saying Lionhearts in the Eredivisie. Anthony was amazing, really, but it's the Eredivisie. 100%. I watched Ajax, few games here and there. Not like a ton, not like United. But I did watch them here and there. I watched them in all their Champions Leagues because they were playing fantastic football. And I was really enjoying what they were doing. And I watched like a Eredivisie game here and there, maybe every once in a while if I was bored. And yeah, I did see Anthony, and he was ripping up the league. But it's not the same. It's not the same. I mean, we see that with Bundesliga players that come over to the Premier League. We see that with Serie A players. We see that with players that come from La Liga. The Premier League is a totally different league. And not everybody can play here. Um, and Ray said the game was very good till the sub time. And yeah, that's what we were saying before. I mean, that's one of the things very disappointed. Very It disappointed me a lot, because I believe that Ten Hag shouldn't have done that, and I've been backing this guy and defending him on all sorts of stuff. The fact that we have like a gazillion injuries, the fact that the media have been trying to get him sacked for the entire season and blaming him for stuff that literally is not even his fault. And let's have it this way. It's not even all of Ten Hag's fault. We get a little carried away sometimes on the opinions, and we go down a little bit of a rabbit hole. But I have been criticizing these players heavily all season, and I've been saying that a bunch of them need to be sold, a bunch of them need to go. So I don't want that to get lost in the fact that we're saying Ten Hag must go. Um, and that's just solely, I titled that because that's how I feel. These players must go as well. And I was holding out because I had this fear that you sack Ten Hag, these players get another chance. But I am more in the space of right now. We just need a complete restart. A complete restart. Get rid of the players, get a new manager, get a new coaching staff, and set everything up properly for a new direction. That's what I feel like is the best direction for the club to go in. Um, I could be wrong. And you guys may disagree with me, but that's okay. Um, Lion Hearts is saying Ten Hag needs time. It's going to be up. It's going to be up and down. Um, so Fergie didn't win anything for 4 years. I understand that. Ten Hag won a trophy first year. No, listen, Lion, you're making very, very good points. Um, you're making good points, and Ray has responded to you. You guys are having your own little battle here. Ray Muscat has said to you in response. It said, but Fergie has balls. Move players out. So he's saying that Fergie had the balls to drop players from the squad when they weren't performing. And there is kind of a difference on that. Now I was saying I still feel like something is wrong with the Rashford thing. That he won't drop him, he won't sub him, he keeps him on, and I'm not the only one. There's loads of people that are saying he is not giving us enough. But yet Ten Hag continues to keep him around and play him, and it's concerning to me. It is concerning because I feel like there is something deeper. There's something darker going on. The fact that he's basically undroppable. He is undroppable. Like I would understand. See, for Bruno, he's also undroppable. He's the captain, and I don't think he's gonna drop his captain. At the same time, we don't really have somebody to stick in that position. So I can see, why you have to keep him on. But we have wingers. We have other players that want to play. I think Diallo deserves minutes regardless. He deserves 15, 20 minutes. A match. I don't see why not. And he seems reluctant to put on a Diallo and keep on a Rashford, but I don't see why. I really don't. I don't see. Rashford has been getting opportunities. He's stuck with Rashford throughout this season. And I don't think Rashford has repaid him. So I just don't understand why he continues. Because, Lion, I'm gonna put it this way, buddy. Right? I understand what you're saying, and you're making good points. I don't even necessarily disagree with what you're saying, right? But if Ferguson was in charge, he would have dropped Rashford by now, and he would have put in somebody else. And he would have gave them a run of games, and he would have let them have their run of games and see what they give. Um, and this is a problem. Now, that's where I was going with. If you look at the first season of Ten Hag, he came in, he put his foot down, authority. Had a thing with Ronaldo where it was like, listen, I'm the manager, I make the decisions. I play you when I feel is best. Ronaldo obviously had his whole thing and wanted out. Rashford showed up late to a training, dropped him from the squad when he was in form. There was a few examples that Ten Hag showed. I don't know why he's not showing the same thing he did last season and he's showing now. Because he's not, excuse me. Lionhearts says, let's be honest, as United we remember, didn't really start kicking until David Gill arrived. Now that there's a new proper prawn brigade upstairs, United and Ten Hag will start going. Well, listen, Lion, I hope you're right, because at the end of the day, I think me, Ray, and everybody else that's here, and everybody else that's been watching, I think we just want United to be successful. We just want United to be good. We want United to win. So listen, I hope you're right about that. If they do keep him and that's what happens, I will be over the moon. Ray says, I give you that Gil was the man behind the scene. I mean, Gil was the man behind the scene, and we haven't had a man behind the scene for quite some time now. And hopefully the guys that we do have behind the scene now can replicate something similar, because I don't think they'll reproduce what we had. I think what we had is irreproducible. That was something that was special. But I think definitely from what we've had over the past 11 years, going forward, I think the personnel that we are getting in right now, there is absolutely no way that they can do worse than what we've had for the past 11 years. Because what we've had for the past 11 years is a bunch of incompetent nobodies that know absolutely nothing and didn't know what the hell they were doing. And they were running the club purely in a commercial view. And now we're changing from that. So Ajax was the same brilliant upstairs staff, 100%, 100%. And that's something, Lion, that I have been arguing for quite some time now. All the videos, I probably mentioned it in almost every single video that I've done on this channel since we started. I literally, all I've been saying is that it starts from the top down. You need to have the foundation on like a house, right? A house, the foundation is at the bottom, you build it up. At a club, I believe the foundation is from the top and you build it down. You have to have a strong foundation at the top. All of that trickles down, and we've been lacking that, and we need that. And Lion is saying also, so if Ten Hag has that here, we're golden. Yeah, I think so. Or listen, I don't know about golden. But I think we can build into something um at least good. I always said I don't know if Ten Hag is the man to be the pinnacle, to be the best. But I always felt like he was the guy that could help us at least build to be challenging, to be something. Kind of basically like where Arsenal are, or where Arsenal have become. I always felt like Ten Hag could get us there. That's what I believed in. And then obviously we would see from there if he was going to be able to get us over the line. But I always felt like he was at least the guy that could build something for this squad and get us and get the standards back up to where they're supposed to be. Um, but I've been losing it little by little with him, and maybe I'll change my mind when I calm down a little bit more because I'm kind of like that. I just want him to do good. I want the team to do good. I hate watching us play like shit. I hate watching us play awful, but at the same time, he needs to help himself. I will stick on that point. He needs to help himself by making better decisions because I still think the decisions he's making is not helping himself. He's not doing himself any favors, and they are frustrating me more and more and more. And this is why I'm saying he must go. Um, I again, I still don't agree with Garnacho being taken off and Mano taken off. That and Diallo not getting minutes. That is it is bothering me inside. It is eating away at me. Um and Lion is saying bloody hell. I mean Darren Fletcher is our technical director at the moment. Not anymore because we got Jason Wilcox in. Jason Wilcox is our technical director now, but I do understand what you're saying. And also I said I don't even think Darren Fletcher did technically no pun intended, but I don't even think he did an awful job. He should have never been technical director because what experience does he have? But these were the morons that were running our club. They just put him in there. I think that's what I'm saying. Love Fletch as a player. Love Fletch as a player too. Definitely not a technical director, but I think Fletch actually as a coach, somebody that you could put in and around the players, the first teamers, and the youth players. I think he's actually very important. I think he understands players. I think he understands what it means to be a Manchester United player. And yeah, yesterday. Yeah. Yesterday then. Yep. Or the day before. I think it was 2 days ago. We got Jason Wilcox. So, but they're keeping Fletch on somewhere in a different role, which I actually am not against because I think Fletcher is an important person. In terms of I think he can coach. In the background. I'm not saying he could be a manager, but I'm saying in terms of being with players on the training pitch, helping them mentality wise. He has two young boys in our academy. They're highly talked about as very they get very high praise for they're supposed to be these amazing youth products. I think he understands the youth. I think he understands their mentality. I think he understands how they act, where they're coming from, where their heads are at, how to resonate with them, how to get through to them. So I think he's important for the youth, and also I think he understands what it means to be a Manchester United fan, what it means to be a Manchester United player. I mean, I guess a fan too. And so I think him staying there is good. It was never his fault that he was technical director. Just like it was never really John Murtaugh's fault that he was director of football or whatever. But John Murtaugh somehow lived on for like 10 years. He just kept climbing the ranks. Who knows? But yeah, this is what I was saying. We need to build a proper structure from the top down. And so far, I like what Ineos are doing. I like what Ineos are the people they're bringing in. And we still have to wait and see what results come from this. But what I would like to see from Ineos next, regardless of what they do with the manager, because if they sack the manager or keep the manager, in my opinion, we still need to get rid of a bunch of players. Players that need to be moved on, should have been moved on, haven't been moved on. Players that are underperforming. I mean, according to our new CEO, Almo Barada, he said, I think maybe more than one time, he said we usually give players a maximum of 1 to 2 seasons. If they do not hit what we expect from them, we move them on. I hope they continue to carry that on because um we need that. We've always kept Deadwood around. We've never moved on players. We've had a hard time selling players. So for me, the big thing in the summer for Ineos would be how many players can we sell? What kind of price can you get for them? And how many players can you get in to replace those players? And what kind of players are they bringing in? This is what I want to see. This is mainly what I'm focusing on in the summer. Um, Ray's saying we need Trump to buy United. I mean, he would probably be better than the Glazers, right? Anything's better than the Glazers. Make United great again. Muga, I don't think that works. Mugga, Mugga. I don't think that I don't think that has the same tone to it, but yeah. Lines is saying if we take Ajax again as an example, former players are through the whole club. Um, I'm just thinking about that. Yes, but I don't know. Like our former players, like I get that, right? But you look at our former players. Gary Neville is a pundit, failed as a manager. Roy Keane is a pundit, failed as a manager. Rio never managed, pundit. Scholes didn't last very long in as a manager. Pundit. Owen Haggerty's pundit. We just don't have the same caliber player. Like I mean, I would take Van der Sar. I think Van der Sar did very. I think Van der Sar is doing a very excellent job. Plus, he's had all this time to gain all the experience at working at a club like Ajax. Um, Van der Sar is a former player. I take him, but I actually think we just need the best of the best. I mean, like I get what you're saying, Lions, but at the same time, you look at City, and I know City have no history, uh, and they're a bunch of plastics, but there's no, they didn't keep Yaya Toure around. They didn't, I don't know, anybody from the recent past. They don't have anybody there. They just went and grabbed the best of the best that was available. That Pep knew, and they just built a team, a team at the top that was the best available, and I think that's what we need to do. I don't think necessarily we need former players. You could have some former players in some level of the club, yeah, but the majority and the main part, we definitely need the best of the best. We cannot just have. He said, okay, players who understand the game. Then no, yeah, I get you. I mean, like I'm even looking at Michael Carrick. He's doing very well, right? But I still think he needs more experience. I think Michael Carrick is doing an excellent job. I think Michael Carrick is doing exactly what Michael Carrick should be doing, which is going to a team like Middlesbrough and getting the experience that he needs. No praising City here. No, I'm not. Well, I wasn't praising City in the sense of like that. I'm just saying, I'm just stating a fact. It's what they did. I'm not praising them. I'm not praising them. You'll never hear me praise them. I'm just saying, it's what they did. They went and they got the best of the best. But they are plastic and I hate them. So you know what it is. But yeah, I was saying like, there's a couple plays. Um, I think Michael Carrick's doing what he's supposed to be doing. I would like to see him continue growing and continue to develop, and hopefully one day maybe he does come to United. You know what I mean? And in some capacity, whether he's a manager, a coach, something. I think he's doing very good, but I still think it's a little bit too early for him to be here. Um, because we are so big and we have so much pressure on us. And we are not in a situation to be having people to get experience. I think under Ferguson, because we were so good and everything was running so well, we were allowed to, bring this guy in, throw him in the academies, let him learn, let him teach, let him, do all these things. But we've been bad for so long. I don't even know, like, what would they actually learn though from being here? Because we are not the best of the best right now, that's why I think we need to bring in the best of the best, build with the best of the best, and then we could kind of do what we used to do, where we can then build up our own and try and make even our own become the best of the best. Right now it seems like our former own kind of have to go do that on their own a little bit. I actually, like I said, I really like what Michael Carrick's doing. I'm happy that he went there. I'm happy that he's doing his thing over there, and I hope he continues to do things. I think personally, Michael Carrick will become a very good manager. I have this going theory that all the good managers that are coming through nowadays, and they was there in the past, but now more so. Anytime somebody was a former midfielder, um, they seem to be at least a good manager, if not a great manager. Michael Carrick, obviously playing in the midfield for us, and was absolutely fantastic at that. He seems, if you're going to speculate about managers, Kieran McKenna, no, Kieran McKenna is doing good. Ray has turned it around and he said, okay, I give Ten Hag till the final. Well, that was something that I was going to touch on. Listen, Erik Ten Hag's not getting sacked tonight. Not happening. He's not getting sacked tomorrow. And I think if he was to lose his job, it would be when the season is over. I don't even think Kieran McKenna is doing absolutely amazing as well. I'm happy for him too. So I hope they keep going in the route that they're going. And they're taking the proper route. I always thought that was the proper route for them. Go get your experience, put in your hard work, learn yourself in other experiences, not just at United. But and then you could always come back. But like I was saying, I don't think Erik Ten Hag is, now that I calmed down a little bit and we've talked this out, which is good. So thank you, chat and Lionhearts, for just we're talking out here. Erik Ten Hag is not going to get sacked today, tomorrow. Reasonably, even if he loses the final, I don't think he would get sacked. I think Ineos, if they're going to change the manager, they would just change it at the end of the season. Unless they, because I don't even think they want a caretaker or any of that. I wouldn't see a point. I think they would just let the season end, and they would make the decision. Lionhearts is saying, "Oh man, now I've been turned. Now I want Kieran McKenna for the final." You can't make this up. I love this chat. All right. But what I was saying was, yeah, I think what can happen is Ten Hag. Listen, if Ten Hag wins the final, and he does it in a certain fashion, because whether people want to admit it or not, the way you do it does matter to people, and it does change their opinion. Which is just like today, right? If we just smashed Coventry 4-0 and we walked away from that match and nothing happened, me and including other people, wouldn't be so negative about it, right? So if we go into this final and we have a performance like we did when we beat them 2-0 at home last season, and we win that cup final that way, it will definitely 100% change the perception from the fans. I don't know what it would do for Ineos, for Sir David Brailsford, for Sir Jim Ratcliffe, Omar Barada, etc. I still I've said this before, and I'm gonna say it again, and I still think, regardless of what he necessarily does, um, they want their own guy at some point. Whether they're happy to give him another season and see what happens if he achieves something great, maybe they'll just stick with him. But I still feel like when these types of changes happen, these people look to get their own players in. Not players, I'm sorry. Managers in. They want their own guy in. And I think they are looking to get their own guy in at some point. When that change will happen, we don't actually know. We could speculate. I don't know. There's different parts of me that feel like it could definitely happen at the end of the season, regardless of if he wins this cup or not. Um, it feels like it will be more likely so if he is kicked out of this cup and it doesn't look like we're getting top four. And if he definitely fails to get top six in any European football, I think it would be even more likely so. Um, so I don't know, but listen, at the end of the day, like we were saying before, we have more matches to play. We're gonna keep supporting the team. Um, I might have lost faith in the manager a little bit, but I still want them to win games. I still want them to do good. I'm not gonna sit here and ask for the manager to be sacked every game and to cry and hope that the team loses. You know what I mean? I'm still going to back the team. I still want to see the team win. I'm just hugely discouraged by some of the decisions that he's making, and I'm getting very, very frustrated. Um, by what he's doing. And I wish he would change it. And I know he's stubborn, and I know he doesn't want to change what he's doing. So I don't know. I hope it all works out for him. But I still feel like he probably has to go. But we'll see. We'll see. Lion said it all started when we won the FA Cup in 1990. So if he can win it this year, who knows? We'll never find out if Lewis FA Cup triumph could have been the start for him, unfortunately. I mean, listen, I appreciate this because you're giving me a different perspective to think from, right? And this is why I love doing this, and this is why I want to build a community so we could have discussions like this, because I love opinions and I love when people come and they express their opinions from a different point of view, because you normally see it one way and somebody sees it a different way. And I just like when people come with different viewpoints, because a lot of times people say something that you never really think of or never really see, and it really just opens your mind, and I don't know, that stuff interests me. It gets me thinking, and it gets me, I guess, out of my head a little bit, because I do get stuck in my head a lot with a lot of thoughts, and sometimes I go a little bit crazy. So I like when other people come with their opinions, because it gets me to see a different viewpoint. And you know what? On your point line, um, we never really you never really do know. You never really do know. You could be 100% right, and I could be 100% wrong. We never really do. We wouldn't know. We wouldn't know. I mean, Lewis wasn't playing the most exciting football, but still, we actually don't know. He could have went on next season to do something better, or it could have been a complete disaster. And we're kind of in a similar situation here now. Um, and I guess we will find out. One way or another, what's going to happen, right? But we have been live for quite some time, and this was not intended, but I appreciate all these people that came in here and shared their opinions with us and took the time and are still actually here and still watching us, because at the end of the day, I am a nobody. And nobody has to be here listening to me speak, and nobody has to take their time to be here watching us and sharing their opinion. They could have went to one of the much bigger channels that are obviously out there doing content, So everybody that came here and took the time to speak with us, share opinions, and just spend your time with us and watch us and listen to me talk and others in the chat. I greatly appreciate you guys. Thank you. You've actually made me feel a lot better than how I was feeling, because I was feeling absolutely awful. I couldn't even enjoy winning the penalty. But now that we kind of had this discussion, I feel a lot better, and I love the interaction. Um, and Lines is here. Lines has made the show absolutely excellent. I thank you for being here. You said it was a disgrace how he got booted. Yeah, at the time I thought it was kind of a disgrace. But you've had a whale of a time. Well, I'm happy that you enjoyed it as much as I have. I don't know if you're a subscriber or not. But please subscribe, because I would like you back on my shows. For sure. And I'm looking. I don't know if you're comfortable with it, but for anybody else, I'm looking. I want to do some more live stuff. I don't want to just like read your comments off of the page. I would like to have fans call up, like other channels do and whatnot. So I want to do that, but unfortunately, I need more people like Lion that are willing to share their opinions and just not be afraid to share their opinions and have a conversation. So but Lion is here, and Lion started a lot of this, and there was a couple others. We're not gonna forget Sandy was in here. I don't know if he's still in here. Alien Tenno, Ray was in here. Michael Zachariah sub to us. So shout out to all of you. I greatly appreciate you all. Lion is now subscribed. Thank you. I greatly appreciate that. Listen, we go live all the time. I am gonna end it. Ray said Man United forever. I just want to thank you guys again. If you haven't smashed the like button for me, please do that if you enjoyed this. It helps us out. Um, Anonymous says hi. Hi, Anonymous. You have a name, or are you just anonymous? I'm glad you popped up on my recommendations. Well, I'm happy I popped up in your recommendations, because to be quite honest, I was getting a little bit discouraged that I've been grinding away at this for a little bit, and it's tough. It's not as easy as all the other guys make it seem like, especially when they already have a following. So I'm glad that you enjoyed this, and that it popped up on your recommendation, and that you enjoyed it, and that I have been enjoyable for you, because I make this content for United fans. At the end of the day, that's what we're here for. I want to interact with United fans, but also I want to make content for United fans that they're going to enjoy. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm thankful you subscribed. Lionheart says power slap that like button 100%, please, and thank you. That it takes 2 seconds, and it massively helps us, because YouTube algorithm. So if you enjoyed this content, and listen, I'm going to continue with the live shows. I'm trying to get down some type of a schedule, but definitely I'm thinking about doing a show tomorrow. If not, then we will do one on Tuesday, for sure, because I don't want to leave people like Lion out of the loop for too long. So thank you for that. And I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their Sunday, the rest of their weekend, wherever you're watching from. Have a good morning, a good night, a good evening. Thank you for everybody that's here. Thank you for everybody that smashed the like button. Thank you for everybody that subscribed. Thank you to everybody that shared their opinion. Anonymous has said his name is Heisenberg. Heisenberg. There we go. We want to know your name. Heisenberg. Thank you for joining. You came in a little bit late with your chat. We're ending the show, so I'm sorry. But if you subscribe and you turn on notifications, we are going to go live again in the next day or two, and you can join us then. If anybody else wants to check out our other videos, I have tons of videos that were live, not live, pre-records, rants, match reactions, all that stuff. Otherwise, we will catch you later. Thank you guys. Be safe. Be good. We will catch you another time. I appreciate you all. Love you. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And we will catch you then. GGMU. Hopefully we do better. And I hope we win. I hope we win the final. I'm still backing to win the final. And if Erik Ten Hag can figure out how to turn it around, then Erik Ten Hag figures out how to turn it around. That's what we're going with. So I will catch you guys later. Be good.